What up, world? It's your boy Vic XL back again with another album review. This week we got Miss Tokyo Jetz with her debut album, Council Culture. Alright, now, everybody out there, if you're not familiar with Tokyo Jetz, let me tell you a little bit about her. She's part of T.I.'s Grand Hustle Records. She's also been featured on albums with T.I. She's been featured on records with Young Dro. She's also featured on the Hustle Gang compilation. Well, now it's time for Tokyo Jetz to stand front and center and be the first lady of Grand Hustle Record and release this debut album. Now, a lot of us have been waiting a while for this album because Tokyo Jetz has definitely quenched our thirst with a lot of singles that done well when it comes to streaming. But it seems like every time she gained a little momentum, somehow she kind of slip and lose a little ground, whether it was due to her giving birth to her first child, or whether it was due to her contracting COVID-19, or even at one point in time, she basically became part of the council culture when the council culture wanted to counsel her about remarks she made about the death of George Floyd. Well, she's put all that behind us, and now she's ready to give us this 14-track debut album. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go track by track each record and give you my opinion of each record. Alright, she started off the perfect way. I always say one of the best ways to know if you're going to like an album is by how you start it. And she starts off perfect. She gives us a track and it's simply entitled Intro. Now, in this record, she talks about everybody wanting to go viral. She's talking about a lot of things she's went through when it comes to being counseled, and also how she adapted to the COVID controversy. But to me, Intro was the perfect way to start this project off. Next up, we had a joint called Adam. All right, now Adam, it definitely gave me a City Girls vibe, and this record was basically speaking on men and basically giving ladies advice on how to handle their business when it comes to men. And it also features JT from the City Girls, and that's probably why it gave me such a City Girl vibe. Next joint was Ben Did That. Now, I gotta say, Tokyo Jetz is one of the best female artists when it comes to storytelling, and Ben Did That is a hood story. But unfortunately, this record misses the mark for me. It's a very, very short record, but I think it's not her best work. It's kind of whack to me. It's kind of a whack record. So it's definitely my least favorite. So if you gotta skip a record, Ben That is one you possibly could skip. Next up was Know the Rules. Now, Know the Rules is my second favorite record on this joint. It features Grand Hustle Commando, Mr. T.I. It's a remake of one of my favorite Tupac records, Hit 'Em Up. T.I. and Tokyo Jetz, actually they go very, very well when they rhyme back and forth together. And it was very, very cool and classy how they flip Hit 'Em Up for this joint, Know the Rules. Hopefully, we'll hear this record on the radio. There's definitely a video out. Check out the video when you get an opportunity. Next up was a joint called Lotto. And Lotto to me was basically a record about money and letting the ladies know this is how you train a nigga. This is what you gotta do to get head, get bread, and be out. Alright? Lotto is an instructional record for you ladies to know how to train your guy. So, if you need some coaching, definitely check out Lotto, because Tokyo Jetz is putting you up on game. Next up was a joint called When We Ride. It features Kevin Gates. Now, I was kind of wondering how these two would sound together on a record, because Kevin Gates is big on the harmonies and Tokyo Jetz tends to rhyme fast. Well, guess what? They pulled it off great. They picked a very, very smooth track. The joint actually reminded me of a Tupac record, and these two displayed very, very good chemistry. I could definitely see or hear When We Ride on the radio, and I would love to see a visual. Next up was a joint called Flu Game. It basically was Tokyo being in her bag, bragging, and basically proclaiming herself to be the next best MC next to Jay-Z, next to Hove. Well, me personally, this record missed the mark, and it was my second least favorite. So if you gotta skip one, Flu Game can definitely be skipped. This joint is not sick. Alright, next up we had Game. Now, Game is Tokyo Jetz giving us sex rhymes. But these aren't your typical ABC sex rhymes. No, no, no. Tokyo Jetz is a lyricist. So she's not just going to give you something basic. No, she's not. She's not going to give you something basic. She basically gives you a great rhyme flow, and she gives you great depiction of her sex life, rough sex, and how she wants to be treated in the bed. Really, really like that record. Next up was What Would You Do? Now, to me, What Would You Do is the record on this album that has the most potential to have commercial success. It features Tootsie. It's a vibe out record, but it's also a sex record. It's very, very smooth and can be radio friendly. Alright. We had one called One Up. One Up to me was very, very funny. It showed Tokyo Jet's comical side. She was basically clowning the dudes, talking about how lame they can be at times. And it also gave me that Sweetie feel to it. It was kind of poppy, Sweetie-ish. So if she was reaching for a pop lane, One Up would be the record that I could see hitting Turban Radio or Pop Radio. Next, we had Yak. Yak featured one of Florida's favorites, part of Kodak Black's camp, Mr. Jack Boy. Basically, this is a record of Tokyo Jetz and Jack Boy going back and forth, straight spitting, and just getting at fake rappers. Matter of fact, if you are a fake rapper, proclaiming to be something that you're not, Tokyo Jetz and Jack Boy are getting at you on this joint, Yak. Alright, next up was a record we've heard before. It done very, very well. It done a lot of streaming numbers. It was called Sit on the Dick, and it features Tokyo Vanity. Now, this was a New Orleans bounce type record, but Tokyo Jetz definitely handled this beat. Her flow meshes very well with these type of beats. So I'd love to hear her more on bounce type beats, and I think she'll get the club success if she ever wanted. Next up was Don't Kill My Vibe. This was just a straight Tokyo Jetz going bar for bar with herself over a beat. It wasn't one of my favorites. She could have left it off if she wanted to, but it was a cool record. And the last joint on this album was called Fuck It. Fuck It was one of my favorite records for the simple fact this record showed Tokyo Jetz as Tokyo Jetz. And what I mean by it is, this is a record where she's speaking about the trials and tribulations of her life, dealing with different things that she's had to overcome, how she maintained, how she battled through the council culture wanting to counsel her, how she battled through motherhood, giving birth. This is basically a record with her giving us her life. And to me, this is a great way to end this project, because what it done was it opened us up to hear more of this type of subject matter from Tokyo Jetz. Now, what I really like most about this project is the way it was sequenced. When they went in the studio and sequenced this record, they put this project together in a manner where it kept you emotionally in the proper pocket with each record. It was just one of those type of things that flowed perfectly. It didn't take you too high. It definitely didn't take you too low. It just stayed in pocket and gave you different styles and avenues of Tokyo Jetz. It made me want more. It made me want to hear the next Tokyo Jetz project. Now, y'all do me a favor. Y'all check out Tokyo Jetz project, Council Culture. Listen to it. Listen to it real good. And then I want y'all to tell me if I'm lying about my opinions on the record. Alright, it's your boy Vic XL. This is Riding Dirty Reviews. Y'all do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Leave some comments. Alright? Y'all let me know what y'all want me to review next. Alright? We up out of here. Peace.